Welcome, Dr. James Beckett, Sports Card Insights. Thank you, Panini, for sending me a baseball, a football, and a basketball. In that order, I think. The pricing is in that order, and it might be that the demand is in that order as well. I will tell you what I think about them, but thanks other sponsors, not just Panini, but thank you especially for this episode, but also Upper Deck, Tops, Huggins and Scott Auctions, Heritage Auctions, Mike Stadium Sports Cards, Burbank Sports Cards, ComC.com, and Beckett Media, Beckett Grading, Beckett Authentication. The way cards come into the ecosystem is they come out in packs, in boxes, and they are opened or broken, whatever the case may be. And then they find their way into the secondary market. As I've said before, the card companies really do care about the secondary market. That's why I think they secretly, or not so secretly, like breaks, because it's revealing what you get. And they are held to that standard. When people are watching the breaks, then they're going to see what comes out. And if they're not getting good stuff, again, I've gone on record as saying I believe the card companies are giving at least what they are promising. If they're suggesting that you're going to get, on average, they're making every effort to make sure you get at least that, not less than, and perhaps even more. Usually I get the same or better than what they suggested. That still doesn't mean you're going to get the exact value if you were to sell each card, but the enjoyment factor, the potential to get something really big. And frankly, some of these retail pricing for these three different boxes is more about what you didn't get or what you could get, but you probably didn't, and I didn't, than what you did get. You're paying an enjoyment factor, you're paying a lottery factor, and then you've got the cards, the basic reasonable value of the cards. But when one sport is priced higher than another, then that's a little tricky because you find out that the same serial numbering, the same difficulty of insert could be a lot more in one sport than another. Doesn't seem fair, but it's what it is. And it'll be more Fanatics' problem next year with pulling together the licenses. Panini's had that issue with basketball and football and baseball without being fully licensed. They put out a lot of interesting product there. So anyway, first one is 2025 Donruss baseball, $175 a box when I checked. I think that's pre-release pricing from David Adams to be released this week. I've been around a long time. I'm not bothered by the lack of full licensing, that they don't have the team logos. It is a positive to have team logos, but if you look back at cards historically, there's some great cards in our industry that don't have any team logos on them, including Topps cards that are iconic rookies. If it's tastefully done, it's not an illegitimate card. It's just not fully licensed. That maybe depresses the price a little bit, and that would be reasonable, but it's still can be a really attractive card of a great player that's your perhaps favorite player. 24 packs of 8 cards, more of the traditional hobby box of the way it was, that kind of configuration. When I grew up, it was 24 packs and probably 5 or 6 cards a pack. I don't remember 8 cards in a pack, but promising 3 autograph or memorabilia cards in each box. I did get that. Ultra rare stained glass did not. 85 Donruss buyback autographs did not. And when they say it's ultra rare, that means don't expect it. And if you do some cartwheels. But it didn't. And I'm not upset about it because I got some other good cards. Not great cards, but good cards. So to be expected. But I'm struck when we are advertising autographs, the price discontinuities of having a certified autograph of a player versus getting what you would sell an in-person autograph that could be authenticated or not authenticated, or you got it through the mail, which again could be authenticated or not authenticated, or you could get it at a show, which sometimes the show pricing is higher than anything. There can be wildly different price points for especially the better players of how they charge for their autograph and then how dealers will charge because it's a pass-through. So if you got it out of a pack or if you got it at a show, an in-person autograph, once you get it authenticated and slabbed, sometimes it looks like a deal compared to standing in line at a show, but then you don't get the interaction with the players. So again, Panini's doing that for you. There's occasionally sticker autographs, redemptions, all that stuff. It's really difficult, but necessary. I can assure you, they'd rather have on-card autographs. They'd rather not have redemptions, all the card companies. There's a no purchase necessary offer that's on the back of the pack, right tucked in the fold of the pack. And they're not singling out Canadians in a negative way. It's in a legal way. The Canadians have to solve a math problem, which is very simple for me. It may not be that simple for certain people, although now people have calculators. And if you do it right, you could do it wrong and get the wrong answer. They're just sequencing of a multiple, add, subtract, divide, multiply can throw people off. And I'm not going to give it away, but again, I'm not in Canada. So if you wanted to do the no purchase necessary, that allows you to send in wherever you're from, anywhere. But if it's in Canada, you've got to demonstrate there's like a knowledge factor. It's not just a lottery. You're eligible to win if you get the correct answer. But if you're in America, you could just send in a 3x5 and say, I want to get a card. And you might get a common card. Supposedly what you're going to get is within the same odds of what you would get in a pack. However, having said that, you are spending a stamp. Also, it says that later they're going to do the drawing for what you get. You got to get it in this month and they'll draw next month. And then maybe the following month, you could send in and get a list of the winners. I don't think you're going to see my name on there, but if you write and request to know, because they just need to demonstrate that, yes, they did follow through that process. And I think it's one per household. I'm not sure it's one per product or one per month or whatever. Anyway, Travis Pizzana is on the front. These are done in advance and you just can't. If I were in charge, which I'm not. In fact, I didn't do this with the magazines. We usually had one player on the cover and we rode with that one player. On the other hand, the decision was made at the very last possible minute, a week or two before the magazine came out. Some of these products, you're making a decision who's on the front cover of the box well in advance before the guy may get injured or may not be called up, whatever. You just don't know. Like I said, it didn't do with the magazines, but having a collage or a group is probably good. It says 2 non-base cards in every pack. That's certainly acceptable. I think the hobby accepts that. Oh, actually, I did get a Night Moves. And since it's an insert that is not numbered, but it suggests that it's a little bit tougher, but there's no way to know, except I looked on the back of the box. When they sequence what's in the box, it goes from easy to hard, I think, generally. And so the fact that it's toward the bottom of that means maybe that's a really good card. And it may go on my wall as I further research it. Next is the football, the 2024 Panini Contenders Optic, $3.30 a box, released again just this week. 1 pack of 6 cards. That's a pretty easy open. 2 autographs. Rome, Adunze, and CeeDee Lamb were on the box. For Rome, again, the decision was made. This could be a breakout year for him. He's been on some other Panini packaging for their sake. If Caleb Williams has better protection, maybe this will be a breakout year for him. Talk about cracked ice and gold parallels. Didn't get those, but I like those. Ultra rare crown jewels and VIPs. Again, with these ones, they list them at the end of their listing of what you can get in the pack, which suggests to me that they're very limited. And they're called out on the packaging. I'd like to have some guideline. When we were doing the magazines, we were on a first-name basis with the card companies, and we could try to pry it out of them. Sometimes they didn't even know, but they could give us sometimes a ballpark idea, because when you're opening things in one, you don't know if that was the case hit or the 1 out of 10 case hits, unless you've opened a lot of cases or you go to the source. So we tried to go to the source. Non-base cards are 4 per pack there, which means there's only 2 base cards in each pack, which means base cards are a little bit tougher. But I don't think this is the kind of pack or product where you're going to try to put together a set. But if you were, you'd have to buy a lot of packs to complete the base card set. No offer for no purchase necessary on that one. I'm not sure why that is. There may be some legal rules for that. It maybe have to do with the fact that this is football. I don't know. Lastly, basketball was a 2024-25 select basketball, $500 a box, released again just this week. 12 packs of 5, 3 autographs or memorabilia per box. 12 prism parallels, ultra rare, solar eclipse, visionary, color wheel. Okay, here's non-base cards, 1 per pack. Now, actually, I did way better than that. But so I'm not sure why they were understating that so much. That would mean that you're only going to get, with 12 packs of 5 non-base cards, I was only going to get 12 non-base cards. I got 12 prism parallels plus the autographs. I think I got 2 autographs and 1 mem. So they understated. I'm not sure why they would do that. That means I was happy I got more, but they would sell more if they're true to what it is. The other thing is, when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, wait a minute, if 4 of the cards are base cards out of a 5-card pack, and I did get 1 pack that had about 10 cards in it, and it had a thick memorabilia card in it. But to me, that suggests, I was thinking that maybe that means it's a completable base set. if you're getting all these base cards. But in truth, you're getting a lot of concourse cards, a few premier level, and then an even shorter number of courtside. So the courtside, I'm realizing now when I'm looking in the dollar box, I need to be aware of the courtside design front and back, because those are in many cases worth picking up for the select products. So again, it's the closer you get to the court, the more valuable the seats are. And it's still, they have an 18-month redemption window, which I was feeling there'd be some pressure to extend that, but I don't know. Topps said they want to do a 10-year, but they've got a 20-year licensing agreement. Panini, I am hoping they can be nimble to figure out what they do with their other licenses and maybe even find a way to stay in with their excellent brands with the basketball, football, and then baseball, maybe business as usual. But with baseball, I don't know. Again, when I'm looking in the dollar boxes, I'm looking at baseball and football more so than basketball. You can see here with basketball being a $500 box as opposed to a $330 box for football, as opposed to a $175 box for baseball. Dealers, if you open a box, you've got to aggressively try to get your money out of the basketball. So I don't think I'm seeing the kind of stuff in the basketball dollar boxes that's equivalent to what I see in baseball and football, because they have too much in it. They've got to put it in a $5 box or a $2 box or something like that. And as I've said, I like to get some rhythm of tracking with what it is. They're still good cards. Basketball has a shorter roster. They have a well-developed farm system, which is called NCAA and European, so you know what you're going to get. And it's very different from baseball with a lot of prospects, and even football when you've got a lot of players that are not quarterbacks that have cards. Basketball, there's just a lot of superstars in basketball. And so I don't dig into that much. At any rate, let's see. Thank you, Panini. Hope your creativity will continue. I think the strength of the hobby with 10Xing doesn't just mean 10Xing baseball, basketball, and football. I think it means 10Xing people that are coming in, wrestling, for example, soccer, for example, women's basketball. I want Fanatics to do great, but I don't want them to have a monopoly. I want Upper Deck to do great, and I'd like to see them do more than just hockey. And Panini has got a great platform and engine, and I hope it's put to good use in the years to come. Again, thanks, Panini. The lifeblood of the hobby is opening new packs and not put them away for many years. I think it's better to open them sooner and enjoy. So, again, thanks, everybody. Be back again in a couple of days. The man in the